Hey everybody, welcome back to the Back to Bits podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me as always is D-Pad Danny. What is up, Danny?
You tell me, man. I
I
don't even know.
don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just tired. I couldn't tell you what's going on. I really couldn't. I don't keep up with the 411 like the kids say. Do the kids still say that? Is that something the kids
uh,
still say?
I don't
I
know if
don't
they
know.
do,
I don't
but
know.
I mean, I'm not the right person to ask. I still use words and phrases like "booyah"
Well,
and
yeah,
"oh
but
snap."
you have a child of age. You should be fluent with what the kids are saying on the street these days.
I mean, man, this year's been crazy. We've been recluses. We've been
uh,
staying in the house, so we haven't even been on the street, on
oh, that's
said
true.
street.
I wish I could say that. I cannot. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, not everyone can work from home, and you got to make that living where you can, and
oh yeah,
just try to be as safe as you can, I guess.
yep. I'll be heading down your way next week.
Yeah.
Yeehaw!
Yeah, I get to see you at
Back
some
to my
point.
old stomping grounds.
Right.
So,
You'll have
but
to check out Matt's new location.
I may, if I have time, I might actually run by. It's at this point, I just kind of, I'm gonna try to catch you, and there's some friends in Ashboro. I'm gonna try to catch up with on Sunday, and as soon as I get done, I'm ready to come home. So we'll see. But I would like to run by Matt's and check out his new place just because. Just because.
Yeah, I still haven't been over there. I don't really have any business on that side of town when I
Yeah.
am going to work, and I haven't been going to work, so I haven't even been up
Yeah.
in the city. So
Well, and I may have a store to do over on that. I know there's a couple sheets over that way. So if it lucks out that I'm over on that side of town anyway, I'll just stop by on my way through. So
hmm
because I'm making the trip from Hickory to Winston to Greensboro to Raleigh to Greenville and back again. So it's good times. Yeah, it's get my whirlwind fall tour of North Carolina is what I call it. Seems like every fall I come through and tour the state again. So, but that's okay. Could be worse. Could be better. Could be worse though.
oh yeah, well, yeah. Knock on wood, it could always be worse.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and start off like we always do with anything new that we've picked up. Do you want to go ahead and go first, Danny? I know you've gotten some new things.
Yeah, sure. So I've been buying up a lot of cheap Switch games on sale.
Mm.
So I've been racking up my digital library. But as far as physical stuff, I picked up something that I've been meaning to for quite some time. And if I would have just gone ahead and gotten it when I had really originally started wanting this about 2 or 3 years ago, at least, I would have probably saved about $75 to $100 overall. But anyway, I digress. A buddy of mine on Twitter was like, "Hey, I just found my old Dreamcast keyboard. Does anyone want to buy this? I'll give you a good price." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I want to buy that. I've been after one of those for a little while." And so I
Yeah.
cleaned it up real good and then tested it out on Phantasy Star Online. Just on the character creation, I just typing in the character's name just one key, one by one.
Yep.
But of course, I had to delete it every 9 characters or so because that's the cap on the names.
Right.
Anyway, so I bought that. I got that for a pretty good price, and I'm like, man. So I finally have the keyboard. I have to get the game. I have to seek out a copy of Typing of the Dead. And that's what I did. I got a sealed copy of Typing of the Dead for the Dreamcast. And the only reason I got it sealed is because, honestly, it's gone up in price so much that the difference between a regular complete in case copy and a sealed copy is a matter of about $10 to $15.
Really, I don't even know what the going price is on Typing of the Dead anymore.
I spent about 90 on it.
Ooh, wow!
Sealed,
I didn't realize it was that much. I know Dreamcast games.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them have gotten out of control here, over the past few months. But I didn't realize
Right.
Typing of the Dead was that much.
Oh yeah. So overall, I spent upwards towards 150. Whereas if I would have gotten it about 3 years ago or so, I probably could have gotten it the whole package for about $50 to $75. So it just goes to show you, if you're eyeing up something, don't wait. I did the same thing with Metal Warriors, or no, not Metal Storm, where I ended up paying $60 more because I was like, I'll wait on that one.
Yeah.
No.
I got the keyboard back in the day, so I think I paid $20 for it as well. That's what the sticker still says on the box that I have. Of course,
Right, the MSRP.
yeah, but I played Phantasy Star Online and then version 2, when those came out, so I had to have a keyboard. So yeah, I've even got the mouse around here somewhere in the box. Never even took it out.
Nice.
It was just on clearance, and I went ahead and bought it anyway.
Yeah, why
Just
not?
to have it. I don't think I've ever taken it out of the box. But I never bought Typing of the Dead. I'm not a good typer anyway, so it never really interested me to give it a whirl. But it's it's a cool concept.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the House of the Dead games, but I'm not so great at them. I can usually get about 3 or 4 stages in. I mean, if it's in the arcade and I got nothing but cash, obviously anyone can beat it, sure.
Yeah.
But so I'm excited about this one because I am a pretty good typer. I've been typing since I learned how to type in like 3rd grade. I took keyboarding in high school twice because it was an easy grade. I'm like, I already know this shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here and read a magazine or whatever. So I'm excited. I haven't played it yet. And it's funny. One of my buddies was like, "Hey, I have a disc-only version of that." Then I didn't even know ahead of time that he had a copy of the game for sale, a spare one. He said, "I got a disc-only copy. If I can give you a good price on it if you don't want to open your sealed one." And I'm like, "Oh, no. I'm going to open this one with my teeth on stream." So if you're a follower on my stream, look for that coming within probably the next week. I will be attempting to do a full playthrough of Typing the Dead on stream, but I'm going to open it sealed. And I joked about opening it with my teeth, so I have to open it with my teeth now.
Of course, yeah.
I'm a man of my word. What can I say?
That's how you opened CDs back in the day, was with your
teeth. Yeah, absolutely.
Unless they were stuck in those little, I don't know if you remember. Remember the little plastic safety things that they would put music CDs in the store.
Yeah.
So they would set in a thing, and then if they didn't open it for you when you left, you had to get a knife or a pair of sharp scissors to try not to kill yourself to get the thing open or stab yourself. Oh my gosh. And I hated that because you'd want to listen to it on the way home because you had the cool Walkman with the cassette plugged into the thing so you could,
and you had to go find like a rock or a brick to pry it open.
And inevitably you just always break the case because, it was like you were trying to pry it out of that thing. So
but at that point, it's like you don't even care. You're like, screw it, I just want to listen to the game, listen to the music.
Yeah. But the keyboard, and I don't even know, are the keyboards expensive too? Are they high priced?
Dude, the range, by itself without the box, it's all over the place, anywhere from like $25 to like $70. But I got it in the box for $50. It's
not
the
bad.
box. Yeah, the box is a little bit beat up, but it's
I've never seen one that's
complete,
not beat up. Yeah, I mean, even mine is beat up, and I bought it brand new at EB Games in the store, and it was beat up. I mean, I think those things just got beat up right out of the gate.
Sure,
but that's crazy, and I never would have thought. I guess keyboards are still popular with Phantasy Star, especially since they've done a lot of the RetroPie stuff and the Dream Pie and stuff like that, where they
for the servers.
Yeah, so you can do the private servers for Phantasy Star on the Dreamcast. So yeah, I'm guessing that probably drives some of the price of stuff up too. So yeah, that's crazy though. But yeah, I love the House of the Dead series. I've always had fun with it. I can't remember if I've got a complete copy of that game or if it's just the disc. It may just be the disc. But I don't have a light gun anymore. My light gun broke, and I've never taken it apart to see what the deal is with it. I think the trigger, whatever the trigger mechanism in it, just broke. I think the gun is fine, but I need to
just put an extra piece of plastic in there or something.
Yeah, or I don't know how it was. If there was a band, who knows? I mean, I remember playing with it just a little bit, and then it went snap, and it was like, yeah, that was. But also, that was back in the day too, when when things were going off out of clearance, and that's literally when I bought a lot of my Dreamcast stuff that I still have. I got a steering wheel and pedals, a Magcat steering wheels and pedals. I never took out of the box. I literally got it at KB Toys for $3 on clearance.
Yeah,
just because it was $3.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You know, I can't afford not to buy this stuff. I mean, what are you talking about?
I got a bunch of games like that, just going through Walmart's, hitting Walmart's after Walmart's after Walmart's, just picking up games for $5, $5, and I'm glad I did, because I haven't bought a Dreamcast game in probably 15 years because of that, because there just hasn't been anything I really wanted. I got most of everything I wanted by the time discounts came through. So
sure. And all that's just extra surplus, and it's just a nice to have. You sure, if my controller goes out, it wouldn't hurt to have like 4 or 5 spares. Why not?
I mean, I've got a white one, and I've got at least 2 see-through black ones. One's in the box, setting. Well, you can't see it. It's setting up here, just in the box. I took it out, went, yep, it worked, put it back in the box, and it's been there ever since. So
I'd like to get one of those translucent ones. I don't really care what color. I'd just like to get one.
Yeah, the black one was the one I always liked. I always liked that black one. Yeah. So I ended up buying the black one when they first released it, and then I found them on clearance for like $4 or something. So I bought a couple more, and then I ended up getting the Sega Sports Dreamcast. Somebody traded it in at GameStop, and I ended up getting it for like $20 when they were clearancing out all that stuff too. So so I got and it had the Sega Sports controller and everything with it, but I don't even use the Sega Sports controller. I still like my translucent black.
Sure.
But yeah, it's Dreamcast stuff is cool, but man, I haven't bought Dreamcast stuff in a long time. And because prices have just gone crazy with them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't really, I can't think of the last time in recent memory that I've bought a Dreamcast game. My Dreamcast collection is quite small, and it's been that way. I think the last one I can actually remember buying was when I bought Bangayo at MagFest in 2016.
Yeah.
So 4 or 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. I bought some when I worked at Matt's, but that was just 1 or 2, and then I got those ones a couple years ago on a Facebook post. But other than that, I don't count the Facebook posts because they were $20 for like 25 games. So it wasn't like I actively went out shopping for them. It just happened to stumble upon a good deal. So, but yeah, so that's cool.
But what about you, man? Have you picked up anything interesting lately?
Yeah, I finally hit a on Facebook. I finally found. Well, I say I finally found. There's been several times that I've messaged people about games, and then they turn around and say, "Oh, well, it's there." I get halfway there. Oh, we've already sold it, or something crazy like that. It just crap just ticks me off. Of course, I think we talked about that the last time, but the other day, well, it's been a couple weeks ago now, but there was somebody here just locally right across the river who had an NES system with like 16 games for like $30, and I couldn't even see what the games were, so it was like, okay, for 16, 17 games, the $30 alone is worth it. So.
Right, I mean, if the console works by itself, I mean, that's just the console's worth more than $30 these days.
Yeah, well, and the console, it didn't have the door. The door was broke off, which is fine. But it did flash. It wasn't working right. So, but I took it all apart, cleaned the inside of it, disconnected the lockout chip that was causing the blinking light, which was really easy to do. I never had to worry about it with my personal one, so I never thought anything about disabling that chip.
Sure.
But once I just took that one pin loose from the board, it was like, yeah, this thing works just fine. But I went ahead and cleaned the pins, took the pins out, boiled them, did the old boiling the pins trick to, make sure they were super clean, and the thing worked. So
nice.
Nothing stellar with the games. It had all the Mario games, so it had Mario
the standards,
Hunt,
sure,
2 and 3, and it had it had the Mario Duck Hunt and the Track and Field 3-pack. I kept that one. Even it's not working. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know if it's a ROM problem or something like that. I cleaned it several times and it still doesn't work. So I'll work on that again. But the games that I did keep, I kept Pro Wrestling, RC Pro Am, Jordan versus Bird.
That game is not fun.
I just have fond memories of it from when I was a kid.
No, sure, yeah.
But Home Alone 2 was in there. I never played that game before. That game seemed kind of trashy.
Yeah, also not very fun.
No, but then it had like Sesame Street, bowling, Disneyland, which I had never really played Disneyland, but I kept it.
Wait, you mean
Magic Kingdom, whatever.
Adventures in the Magic Kingdom,
Capcom.
Yeah, that game actually is pretty good. That one grew on me. We did that one in the speedrunning tournament or whatever, and and it was that was the first time I'd beaten it. But yeah, it's good. It's not bad.
I went ahead and kept it. Techno basketball, I didn't, but I ended up selling. I kept the bowling game. The bowling game was actually kind of fun.
Is it?
Yeah, it's weird. It's just called what's it called? I don't know if I can read it here. It's just called Championship Bowling. I don't even know who does it.
I don't know if I have that one or not.
Rockstar for Romstar is what it says on it. I don't know. I never played it before. It was kind of fun.
No.
So
yeah, I have Championship Pool, but not Championship Bowling.
Yeah. So and I kept Goonies 2. It had Goonies 2 too. I never played that one. So. And then the one that I was most interested in was the Secret Scrolls Flying Dragon. That game, it's weird. It's like a side scroller, but it's also like a fighting game, which is weird. And you just you'll be walking, fighting, and then you'll have a boss in the middle of the level that you got to kind of beat, and the screen goes from light to dark, light to dark, light to dark, light to dark when you're fighting them. And when you fight it, it changes what the boss looks like. Like it may look like a person in the light, but in the dark, it looks like a weird demon. And then it'll disappear and you'll keep walking, and then you'll find another one. Then you'll get to the end of the level, and then there's like hone your skills, and you fight. It's just like a one-on-one fight with a guy, and it's kind of an interesting game. I mean,
Weird.
it's definitely Japanesey. It was definitely one of those Japanese games that was just kind of translated and thrown over. But it's a pretty interesting game. But I ended up selling the system with Mario and Duck Hunt. I gave him 2 copies of it because I had 2 copies. It's like I don't need 2 more copies of Mario.
Right.
Super Mario Brothers 2, 3. I put it had Hogan's Alley in there, which I already had. I threw Sesame Street in there, Techno Basketball, and sold it all for $60. So
yep, there you go. Doubled your money and got a couple games out of it.
And got like 9 games out of it. So that's
right on.
That's the way that I like to do things when I when I buy games. I like to at least make my money back, but if I can double it, I was 65. I just threw it up for $65 and went, let's just see what happens, because I was willing to come down $30 on the thing if anybody went. One guy went, I'll take it. Okay.
John wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, that's the way I like it though. I like to buy big lots of games, keep what I want out of it, sell the rest, and kind of recoup my money. And I don't usually sell them for a huge amount, like
right. And I benefit too, because if you find crap games that you don't want that I don't have,
exactly,
that helps me out.
I've got a stack of them that I'm bringing to you this week, so.
Can't wait to see you, bud.
There you go. Yeah, I know, right? So I've been saving up. So, they've been playing anything interesting before we move on to news? Anything?
Again, I've been downloading a bunch of Switch games, and I was trying to think of what I've been like specifically playing, because I haven't honed in on any one thing. But I figure, okay, well, like the last 2 days since yesterday, I've been playing the Mutant Mudds a little bit. Have you played that one?
Awesome. Yeah, I bought that. I paid full price for that game.
Did you? Okay, yeah, I got it on. Awesome. I got the collection. Yeah, I've always heard really good things, and I know it's one of those kind of indie games that got really popular. And I know it was like on the DS, and then it was on the 3DS, and then they did the collection, and it was on sale for all of these games get kind of blurred together because I buy so many. I can't. So anywhere between $1 and like $4 probably.
Yeah, they usually run it around $2 or $3 sometimes. So.
Right. So I picked that one up, and I've been playing that since yesterday. I think I'm at halfway through the 5th world, because there's only like 4 stages per world, and there you can either try to collect everything or just get to the end. And I've been enjoying that one. That's been a fun little game. The music's pretty good, and what I really like about it is it does a lot of the the perspective changing, you know,
Mhm.
where you'll go into the foreground and then way into the background. I really like stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So
It's a
I've been
fun
enjoying
game.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it seems
love it.
fun so far. Like I said, it's just one that I slept on. Like I remember hearing about it. It's just I just like, oh, okay, well that looks kind of neat, but I just never gave it a second look, and it finally came up for a good price. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
let me see what this one's about. And yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it.
It was actually one of the super rare games.
Hmm.
They brought out a physical copy of it. It was maybe their fifth or sixth game that they did. I
Right.
almost
Well,
bought it physically. It was, yeah.
and I feel like they put it in like a collection as well. Not just the Mutant Muds collection, but that the developers, like I think they
Hmm.
did like 3 games in a collection pack
Yeah,
for the Switch at
I
some
think
point.
so. Yeah, I think that's what Super Rare was. I can't remember. I follow the dev online on Twitter, and
Hmm.
he's always posting stuff, but I can't remember.
Oh, I know they did. Oh, what's the name of the game? Zeo Drifter. They
Hmm.
did Zeo Drifter, and I really enjoyed that one. And that does a lot of the perspective stuff as well. And if you haven't played that one, that's a
Yep.
really fun.
Yeah, I bought that one too.
Yeah, well, for those of y'all listening who I was
Yeah,
actually talking to before John interrupted me,
yeah.
if you want a good Metroidvania light, I think we had actually talked about this one when we covered that topic of
Hmm.
kind of genre-esque games where this is kind of scratches that itch, but it's not a full-fledged experience. That's a really good Metroidvania light Zeo Drifter.
Yeah, there's a
I
third
should really
game
play
that
that
they
one again.
did. I want to say there was a third game. Yeah, that was the Mutant Muds collection was Super Rare Games number 5 release.
Hmm,
That was their 5th release. I almost bought it, just to have it physically, but I
sure.
didn't for whatever reason. Trying to look up here. Yeah, even on Steam, it's like 90% off. Oh yeah, no, that's an old. Never mind, that's an old ad, but it's probably still on sale on Steam too. Renegade Kid. What is? Trying to find the other games. It seems like I know there was that one, and there was another. There was a third one that they did, but
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know they did another one that was a semi-high profile or a medium profile game, but I think
uh,
Mutant Muds is their big one.
yeah, it was. Um,
But what have you been playing, man? Like
um, Honestly, not a whole lot. I did
yeah.
finish a couple of weeks ago. I finished Mafia on
Okay.
Xbox, which is a really good game. Of course,
Was it?
now that I finished it, they brought out some update where they've added this and this and that and that, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going back
Sure.
and play it again just because they've added this and that.
I
But
already beat that game. It
yeah,
was fun the first time.
yeah, and it's one of those games that if you have a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One and you played the old Mafia on Xbox or PS2, it's worth going back and playing it again because they've totally redone the game in modern style graphics. I mean, they a lot of the cutscenes and stuff is a very much homage to the original game. Like the opening sequence looks almost exactly like the original game, except it's of
Hmm.
course it's nicer graphics. Um,
Sure.
but if you've got a 4K TV with HDR, I mean, it's a beautiful game, and they got new actors, new voice actors, redid the animation. They redid it from the ground up. And it's a good story. It's a good prohibition story. And I'd forgotten how fun that game was on the original
Hmm.
original Xbox. And they've actually kind of tied it together more so with Mafia 2 this time. There was such a gap between Mafia and Mafia 2 that you probably, if you ever played them originally, you probably didn't realize there was a connection between the two,
Hmm.
unless you played them real close together. So they actually kind of had flushed out that ending to make it more like fit with Mafia 2. Because at the end of the
Hmm.
game, I went, "Oh, well, that all makes sense now." And I see
Just
where
kind of
that,
clicked.
yeah, it's kind of like, "Oh, well, that's cool." So yeah,
Okay.
it's a good game. It's a fun game. It wasn't very long, 10 hours maybe. I
Hmm.
mean, it's like I said, it's tit for tat, just like the original one. So it's not a huge long game. It's nice to play a quote unquote open world game that you can just drive from point A to point B, do what you need to do, and drive back. You don't have, oh well, I'm driving from here to there, and there's 47 different side missions that I can go. and do, and then get distracted. And I mean, I like open world games, but I'm kind of getting to the point where it's kind of like there's just so much.
It's too much
do.
game, man.
Yeah, it's
too much game. It's that those are a young man's game.
Yeah. It's like I like Ghost of Tsushima, and I keep, like, last night I sat down and was like, I need to play it, but then I know what's going to happen. I'm not going to play. I'm going to sit and play it for 4 hours, and I'm not going to progress any in the main story because I'm going to sit around and do side missions instead of just
get distracted.
Get distracted. And that's one reason why I never finished Red Dead Redemption 2 was because there were so many side missions. I got distracted in it from the main story, and then I just didn't go back and finish the main story. It's like, because I played 40 hours of the game with nothing but a little bit of story and more side missions, and it was like, I burned myself out on it. So that's on the list to go back and eventually finish. I don't know.
Oh, that list.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that new consoles are coming out, and there's really nothing next gen coming out on these new consoles, because that means I don't have to buy them day one.
Yeah.
And even if I did buy them day one, I'd probably play the backwards compatible games on them more than I would anything else anyway, just catching up in that old backlog. And that seems silly to spend $500 on each console to play it when I've got a console that I can do it with already. But, I don't know. I like open world games, and I'm not saying open world games are bad, but
No.
It's like Spider-Man. I got so burned out with Spider-Man. By the time I got to the third and final act of the game, I didn't finish it because it was just like, I'm tired of playing this game. I'm already 25, 30 hours in. I can't do another 10 hours of it. I just can't. So I walked away from it.
That's fair. Yeah. That doesn't make it a bad game. It's just it's the attention span. Like I said, I mean, if you have all day to play video games, like you're looking for those extra hours. But if you have limited time, like we do, because we have jobs and families and stuff, it's a lot of game to soak in.
I'm going on 45 years old. I cannot stay up till 4:00 in the morning every day.
Yeah, those days are long gone for me as well.
I can't. As much as I want to, I just can't. Last night it was 1:00 in the morning, and I'm down here starting to play playing a game, and I'd only been playing it 45 minutes and went, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
It gets to the point where I'm like, okay, I want to play something. And if it gets to be like 10:30, I'm like, well, it's getting kind of late. I'm probably just going to have a snack, watch TV, and go to bed. It's like there's that certain cutoff where it's like, it's not even late yet, but it feels late. I'm tired. I work hard.
Yeah. Well, it used to be I could stay up till 4 or 5, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Get up at 7:30, 8 o'clock, go to work.
Oh yeah. Just splash some water on your face. Still drunk in the morning sometimes. I mean,
grab a 5-minute shower, and I'm out the door. It's like no big deal.
You'll wake up on the drive there.
Yeah. And now it's just like, nope, I can't do it. It's like if I don't get 8 hours of sleep, it's like I slept today, and then the wife came home from work, and I took a nap. It's like that's how tired I am.
That sounds amazing, though. I worked, and I didn't have a whole lot going on, so I would have much rather have napped. That would have been great.
Yeah, it's like, but and right now I could lay my head back down on the pillow and go right back to sleep. That's the same.
Oh yeah, I could now. I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Don't get old. That's what my mother says all the time. Don't get old. She's
good advice.
Yeah, it is good advice, especially coming from somebody that's 89 years old.
Oh Lord.
But all right, let's get into the news. There is actually a lot of news to talk about, and it's all very Turbografx heavy.
Yeah, lots of turbo love.
Yeah. First off, Castlemania Games sent out an email last month. They sent out a monthly email with new products and things like that, and they just nonchalantly in this email said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to have Neo Geo adapters available again for a limited time, and we're also going to have HD Retrovision Turbo Duo RX Super Graphics AV port adapters for the HD Retrovision Genesis 2 cables, and they're $17. I was like, well, wait a minute. that you just drop a bomb like that, and you don't. Well, here it is. See you later. And,
Yeah. By the way,
I mean, HD Retrovision didn't even say anything about it other than, "Yep, we have them." That's all that was said about them. I'm still not 100% sure, but I'm 99.9% sure that if you want this to work with your system, especially your PC core engine, if you've got one of the PC engines with the old core engines that have the AV plugs, you're still going to have it RGB modded with an 8 DIM pin in it to get it to work. But that is a lot cheaper than a lot of different ways. So I'll find out when I get it. I pre-ordered one for me, and I pre-ordered one for you. So because it's one of those things where
I forgot about that.
Yeah, even if I don't have it RGB modded, if this adapter is just a limited time thing, I still want one.
Right. It's not, again, why not? It's there. They have them. I may use it at some point, and if I don't, then it'll be cool to have.
Right, and it's better to have it and not not need it for a while than when you eventually do need it, and then like, oh, I don't have it.
Yeah, especially at an affordable price like that. I mean, $17 for that kind of an adapter is not really that much.
No, it's really not. And we'll go ahead and skip ahead a little bit in some of the stories, but because even though I say, oh man, I can get my system RGB modded and use this HD Retrovision cable now, if I do. Insurrection Games announces they have what they're calling the Spark Plug RGB. And what it is an adapter that plugs in the back of your Turbografx or PC Engine serial port, and will allow you to plug Genesis 2 cables into it to get RGB. It also works with I think it even works with just regular AV, and I don't think it works with S-Video. SCART. No S-Video, but it does just work with regular AV cables too. It just plugs into that CD expansion port that's on the back, which is pretty nice. I have a generic, well, I say generic, I have a cheap Chinese knockoff that is very big, that has component ports and Genesis 2 ports in it, and it works really well. Even though it is a cheap Chinese knockoff of DB Electronics. What's nice about this one is they worked with DB Electronics to get the boards made, and they worked with somebody else to get the shell made. But it's tiny. It looks like it's only about as big as that serial port, about that wide. And I think I'm going to buy one.
They're only it's what, $50, right?
Yep, $50.
Yeah, and that'll be really nice to get that, because since you've gotten me on the HD Retrovision cables bandwagon, man, I gotta say, just the difference is crazy, and I'm just being able to play my Genesis and my SNES with that crisp of pixel clarity makes me want to get that out of every console I have, which is going to lead me to eventually getting my NES modded, because I know that that's going to happen. But $50 to get that on the Turbografx as well, because I mean, I have mine AV modded, so I have the AV, but if you can get that extra that crispness, that same clarity, that's going to be great.
The PC engine in Turbografx in RGB is a beautiful thing. I mean, the colors are sharp.
Oh yeah,
it pops. It looks really, really, really good. And like I say, I have that cheap Chinese knockoff that I bought for $20 on eBay that does just as good, and it looks fantastic. My only issue with it is it's a bare chip.
Right. It's just hanging out the back of it. It's not in a box or casing.
It's not in a casing. It's not anything. So if it wiggles, which it will wiggle, it'll lose connection. And I don't want to take a chance of shorting something out. I'd rather have something that plugs in and is a good fit, and it doesn't wiggle around or anything like that. And I like Insurrection Games. They make top quality stuff. I have their Genesis 1 RGB cable. It is it is the best SCART cable I have. No noise, no nothing. And the HG Retrovision cables are just as good as the top of the line SCART cables you can get. I know a lot of people prefer SCART. I kind of prefer the HD Retrovision cables because I can get component switchers and things a lot cheaper and a lot more easier than paying expensive prices for the SCART ones. Which but if you're like me and my big 27-inch or 25-inch PVM, that's the only connection I have to it. It doesn't have S-Video, it doesn't have AV, it doesn't have component. It has a 25-pin connector. So I have a 25-pin to BNC connection, which I could get the connectors to put, the HD Retrovision on there, but it's just that pin to a SCART plug. So I have to use SCART when I use my big 27-inch or 25-inch TV. But
I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate to where the one I have found, my 19-inch, it has RGB it has RGB and S-Video, so I got the BNC adapters and was able to plug them in. And you're right, it's so much easier that way than having to go through the extra adapters and cables to do with SCART. But that's just unfortunate that's the only way that you can go on yours.
Yeah. Well, my 14-inch has the BNC plugs in it.
Okay.
But still, at that time, I didn't do the HD Retrovision cables because they were not easy to get at that time. So I did a BNC to SCART adapter for that one. So, I spent $50 on that, and I have all the adapters to get things to work. But, it's like, I just don't see the point in paying $50 for this adapter, then go buy SCART cables at $25 a piece when I can just buy HD Retrovision cables and a couple of, a pack of $5, BNC adapters, and I'm done. It's just easier. Of course, now it's like I have a RetroTink 2X Pro, so it's like that's even easier. I don't even always turn on my PVMs. I just hook them up to the LCD TV and go at it. but this is really good. I really want to pick one of these up, and it's like I said, I sent a message to you. I said, I really just kind of want to, they're out of Winston-Salem, I just kind of want to stop on my way through and go, hey, can I just bring $50 and pay you for it so I don't have to,
so I can just be on my way.
So you don't have to ship it out, because what's cool is anything over $30 is free shipping. So, it's $49.95. I don't think I pay taxes on it in West Virginia. You probably have to, in some other states, but but for $50, you get it shipped to the house, and they make quality stuff. I cannot say any more nice things about Insurrection Industries. They are really good stuff.
I've not gotten anything from them before, but I think I definitely. Well, I say definitely. I do have my eye on the spark plug, because that, like I said, $50 for that kind of pictures is not a lot. But I will say that'll be kind of dependent on our next little news blurb, if you want to go into that.
Yeah. I bought a Carby from, that's what I originally bought from them, was the Carby, and it was
okay.
Good. And then I got the SCART cable from them and to get the free shipping. So, the next thing is Analog announced they're introducing the Duo. It's a high-end analog system that does PC Engine, does Turbografx 16, SuperGrafx, Turbografx CD, PC Engine CD-ROM 2, Super Arcade CD-ROM 2, Zero Lag, 1080p. It comes with the 2.4 gigahertz Bluetooth, or 2.4 gigahertz 8-bit DO wireless controllers that you can buy with it. It's all FPGA. So it's no emulation. Plays the original carts, the original discs. I'm sure, like all the other ones, it will probably use the flash cards. Will probably work in them.
I'd imagine so. I mean, especially if it's not using emulation, I'd imagine the compatibility is going to be 99.99. I mean,
all their other things are, so I wouldn't see why not. And everybody's been able to use flash cards. Usually they've soft modded them to just run ROMs off of SD cards because they use for updates and stuff like that. But yeah, those 8-bit do Bluetooth and 2.4 gigahertz controllers are really cool. What's cool is it's all built in, so you don't have to have the adapter for them. You just buy the controller, sync it up, and you're good to go. It supports up to 4 players that way. So you don't have to have the receivers. There is a plug on the side, so if you want to use an original controller, you can plug it in there. So it does have that. And it has a USB port as well, so you could be able to use, your regular USB controllers if you want. They're also they also have a Turbografx 16. They call it on. I don't know if they call it on the pocket or just pocket. So that's pretty cool that you can plug your. It's like a little Duro. What they call those Express. A Turbo Express.
Oh yeah, Turbo Express.
Yeah, so they also have a handheld wireless version coming sometime in 2021, and there'll be. I like analog stuff. The price is right.
At $200, by the way.
Yeah, $200. I thought I said that. Maybe I didn't. $200.
No.
That's a fair price.
It really is.
Considering, most things, most of those systems are well over $200. If you can get one that's working.
Right.
Yeah, I'm interested, sorta. I know you're more interested than I am.
Well, okay, so because you already have a flash cart,
well, I do.
And you already have the ability to play all the PC Engine and Turbografx games. Now, I don't think you have. Doesn't one of them have the CD capabilities as well?
Yes, the $300 one that Terra Onion makes.
Okay, so the one you have does not do the CD, right?
No.
Okay, so that would. Right, so that would be the only benefit for you, but I only have a Turbografx, a US Turbografx, so I can't play PC Engine games, and I can't play any of the CD games. So for someone like me, who would really want even just a Turbo Duo that would only play the US versions of it, and this is what the Turbo Duo used to be going.
Mm-hmm. And it looks a lot like the Turbo Duo, too. Oh, we lost Danny. We've lost him. He's lost connection. He'll come back. Just give him a second, but yeah, it does look like a Duo system. I've got several different questions with it. Limited quantities is the big thing. It does have limited quantities. $199. Oh, here he comes. Is he coming back? Oh, he's thinking about it. Oh. We're getting these circles.
Can you hear me?
Hey, there you are. Hey, you're back.
Good Lord. Man, I don't even know what happened. Like, Discord just straight restarted. It just completely locked up and restarted on its own. I didn't do anything. My internet didn't cut out.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I was saying, so my benefit would be because I can only play the US ones, and $200 is what a Turbo Duo used to go for about 4 or 5 years ago, and that only plays US Turbografx, Turbo CD, and I would have paid that. I would pay $200 today for a Turbo Duo, but now they're going for like $450. Yeah. So for Analog to put it out and to have that extra compatibility with Japanese games, it's extremely appealing to me. But I'll tell you what's not appealing to me is that it's limited quantities. Mm-hmm. So the odds, I mean, I signed up for the email list and whatnot, but honestly, the odds of me being able to jump on it as soon as because it's going to sell out in like 5 minutes because of the limited quantities. The odds of me actually being able to respond in time to get on there fast enough to put in an order and to have that money on reserve and already ready, which I could always bring something over from like my savings account or whatever. But that's to be able to have all those pieces into place and have like a 5-minute window to be able to do it. It's just, I feel like it should be open pre-orders and, just put it on there like, hey, just as long as you understand, the more pre-orders we get, the longer it's going to take for everybody to get their orders fulfilled. I'm okay with that. better than saying, well, you're just not going to get one if you're not fast, unless you want to pay like $500 on eBay when people start scalping
Right.
them.
Well, and
So that's
there's a couple of other things too that you got to remember with analog. It's $200, does not include the controller. So if you want to buy the Bluetooth or the 2.5 gigahertz controller, you have to buy that separately. Which I'm guessing the prices are about $25-$30 for the controllers. I would guess, but you have a Turbografx, so you could use your Turbografx controller you have. The other thing you got to remember too is with it, the added value of it's a new CD drive. Those old Turbografx and Turboduos and PC Engine stuff. I have a CD-ROM too, and it does not work. It's just and finding parts for those to repair them are very hard. The other thing is too is those are always just usually AV. So if you want to get RGB out of them, you have to have them modded.
right.
This is doing 1080p, 720p, 480p. This is doing full HD. It has scan line options. It has scalers. It has, you could stretch it out. I mean, it is a heck of a deal.
The price is great.
Yeah. My big complaint with analog stuff is their shipping costs is usually what really irks me with them. And, I mean, I know it says limited quantities, but like right now I could click on, if I can get the website to work. I mean, right now they still have the analog Genesis. I could buy one right now. So is it just limited quantities pre-order, or is it limited quantities period? That's my next question. If it's limited quantities pre-order, I get that. Same thing with, all these new consoles coming out. Great. If you're not right there, you're not going to get it. But if I have the ability to get it later, but look at their NES version. They only did one extra, rollout of that. And that was it.
And see, that's what I'm worried about. It's like, if it is available, then great. If I don't get on the first run, as long as I can get one later and not again, I don't want to have to spend $400-$500 on the third part, on the aftermarket.
Right.
So if they're available later, I'm okay waiting. Like I said, it's the same thing as if they would do open pre-orders and just say, hey, it's going to take a little while to get yours. I'm fine with that as well, as long as I can get one for the price they're offering. And I may just be worrying over nothing. They may be, pretty available for, 24 hours, who's to say. Unlikely, but, it could happen.
Yeah, it could. I mean...
So I'm not like trying to poo-poo it completely and be like, oh, it's terrible, because I really like the idea of the system. I really like the price point. I really want one, but I really don't want to pay more than what they're asking for it. That's so if I can get one, great. And that's why I said with the spark plug, me buying that would kind of depend on the availability of this.
Right.
So I want to wait to see when pre-orders of this come up and see if I can get one of the duos. And if I can't get my hands on one, I'm okay paying $50 to get RGB quality out of my existing Turbografx.
Yeah. And just looking at the analog, the Japanese or the Genesis, it's like $20 shipping on it, which I mean, it's not terrible. It used to be way more than that.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people pitched a fit with them about how much they were charging for shipping on things. Like the only thing, well, let's see here. Yep, they even have the Mega SD cartridge adapters. They're $50. I mean, they have that stuff in stock. The Super NTs are out of stock. I'm just looking, but like that's been discontinued. But it doesn't say that they're out. Limited edition though is the NT Mini. I'm just looking through their store here just to see. So I don't know, if something, they have their analogs, their little, their Game Boy things. They're, out of stock, but they're still available to order. So it's like, is that the way it's going to be, or is it going to be just purely we're doing one run and that's it? I don't know, and it may just depend on demand. If demand is high, they may do another run of them. I don't know. Genesis and Super NES are a lot more popular than Turbografx, so I mean,
that's true. And Yeah, and that also brings in another point. I want to, we got to roll on because we're already at an hour almost, and we haven't even hit the main topic. But this also raises the question: will this bring? Because somebody had said that this might bring the cost of Turbografx games up even higher than they are. And I thought about it. I'm like, I don't know if they necessarily will. I think they're going to continue to go up because of natural progression as they get harder to find and more people get into collecting in general. But I feel like in this case, it's not going to be a boom because most of the people that have the means to play most of the people that are going to want this are people who already have the means to play Turbografx,
right?
But they want that better, clarity and that better picture. And a lot of those people, not myself, but a lot of those people also are going to be using flashcards, so they're not necessarily going to be buying up the physical game. So.
Right.
You might see a little bit of an influx. Yeah, exactly. So we have both sides here. So you might see a little bit of an influx, but I don't think it's going to be like, holy crap, these games are going up like, 40%.
No, I don't see that happening. I just don't. I mean, everybody says that. Oh, when the micro consoles came out, like the Super NES and the NES and Genesis. Oh, that's going to drive prices of games down. It didn't. It didn't drive prices of games down. If anything, they went up. Because even though you could get all those for $60, people, oh, I want this game. I want the original of it. Plus, right now, just for whatever reason with this whole lockdown thing, I mean, retro game prices have went nutty. I mean, they've just went absolutely crazy. When the bottom was about ready to fall out of it, then all of a sudden, prices were starting to come down, and now all of a sudden just went.
There's still that constant influx. Some stuff is still going down, but by and large, it's going up because people have all this extra time. They're at home. They're not going out and spending their money on restaurants or at bars or whatever. So they're going to be doing hobbies. And what kind of hobby? I mean, collecting. Oh, what are you going to do? Shop online. Oh, what do I like? Oh, I remember retro games. Boom, you're stuck. You're sucked into it. Yeah. I think that's where a lot of people are finding themselves, whether they want to be there or not. But there's definitely been an influx of collecting since what I'd say about February, March, when this all started really seriously.
The one other thing before we go on that I wonder about the Duo is I'm guessing that it has the CD thing built into it, and what I mean is do you need the super cards to play the CD-ROM? They never really say that. I'm guessing that it's all built into the FPGA emulation. I don't know.
I would assume so, but I mean, I guess as more information comes up.
Yeah, I would be curious to know about that because those cards are expensive anyway.
Sure.
I mean, I've got a card that and technically I don't need it because I've got the flash card and they run off the flash card. But still, it's like, that card alone is $50-$60, for the third version of it. It's crazy. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but as much as I would like to get one, I just, I'd like the ability to play the CD games, but I don't want to. I'm probably not going to start collecting Turbografx CD games. They're just too expensive, and I'm kind of getting to the point with CD-based media that, as much as I like it and I like to have it, I've seen so many of them just start to get disc rot and stuff like that were cheaply made. And it's just like, I don't know if I want to spend that much money for something that might degrade in, 5 to 10 years and then it's useless,
That's a fair point.
And that's where something like the Polymega, if that thing ever really comes to fruition, I know some people have started getting their systems in, but it's kind of came out with a whimper. I mean, the consoles of they did the beta consoles and stuff like that, and they were highly praised. And some of the first buyers have started getting their shipments, but it's like, at least that way I could back up all the CD games to the system on the memory card and play them that way.
Sure.
I don't know. It is a neat thing, but I don't know if I like Turbografx CD enough to invest the money in it, because those games are expensive and very hard to come by.
Yeah, that's fair. But for me, like, Yeah, $200. If I can get a hold of one when they go up, I'm in. I'm more excited about getting one of these than I give a crap about getting a PlayStation 5. So
yeah.
it's funny. I was telling my buddy, I'm like, I'm probably not going to get a PlayStation 5. I said, you know what? Honestly, I'm probably going to get an Intellivision Amico before I get a PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
because it's just it's not going to be worth the price for me. Not for a couple of years at least.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah,
and nothing against the Amico. I actually do want one of those. They're cool. I'm excited about that. But that's another story for another day.
Amico. They're the Amico.
I thought it was Amico.
No, it's Amico. Well,
whatever. Amico.
Anyway,
I did. Man, it's been a while since I've seen anything. I'm sorry, Tommy. I'm sorry, Tommy.
What was it? I don't know. Like I said, I'm happy with just playing Turbografx games.
Yeah,
PC Engine games. I'm not into the whole buying another whole bunch of CD games. So I think just getting the little RGB adapter,
the spark plug
is more than enough for me. If you guys are owners of the N64 Retro Fighters controllers, good news. They had a Kickstarter that added wireless versions. $30 was the buy-in for it. It got funded by $100,000. Their goal was $20,000. They made $122,000. So I would say within the next 6 months to a year, they'll have those available at Castlevania.
Oh yeah,
everywhere that you can get those wireless ones. They're pretty cool controllers. I like them better than the regular N64 controllers, but I just don't play my N64 enough. But I might be.
I can't remember last time I played mine.
Yeah, it's been a while. And then the last thing was a really interesting Kickstarter. It's called the Mario 64 console gamepad and DIY kit. It is a N64 that's newly designed with HDMI output. And it has like reproduction Hori controllers. It's got a whole new case.
It's weird looking. It's kind of neat looking, but it's a little bizarre.
Yeah, and it's really strange. It's they've got. I'm trying to scroll through here because it's been a while since Intech Gaming is the ones who are doing it. And it's just weird. You could get it in a box. You can get the casing with the chip, or the HDMI out, and do it yourself. You can get one that's pre-done that has the console. At $150 will get you the console, the controller, the AV cables, the HDMI cable, the power adapter, and everything, and a working system. Or you can get the DIY kits.
You can just kind of put it together yourself.
Yeah, it's just really weird. I don't know how they're getting away with it. It has funded. It's still got 27 days to go. They were looking for $30,000 or $29,000. They got just over 30 with 218 backers. So I don't know.
If you like N64 that much and you really want a new version of it, then go for it.
Yeah, well, the RGB mods and the HDMI mod itself runs like $160 if you get if you get the mod and have somebody do it for you. So to get a full system in a new case with the mod already done for $150 seems strange. I'm guessing that they're not using the official HDMI mods. They're using some kind of Chinese knockoff of it. They have to be.
Right.
So I don't know. It'll be an interesting one to kind of keep an eye on when people finally get consoles in hand and see how well these go. Because I know I will probably see some people on Twitter talking.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the people will be putting out review videos and talking about the different specs and how comparison videos for the two systems and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very strange, and I saw it on Twitter. I was like, "This is really odd." I don't know, very strange, but all right,
it's a little bit weird.
Yeah, real quick, our main topic was retro-inspired indie games. It wasn't just Turbografx 16.
No, yeah, but
that seems to be the flavor of the month. I say the flavor of the month. It's been that way for about this entire console generation for the past 6-7 years. A lot of indie developers, small indie developers, have went the retro route and really kind of launched their own. I don't want to say their own genre, but the 16-bit, 8-bit retro games is kind of the hot thing right now. I know when I'm looking through Xbox Live or the Microsoft Store or the PlayStation Store or the Switch Store or something like that, if I see something that has 8-bit or 16-bit graphics, it catches my attention. PR emails.
Oh, sure.
I get a lot of PR emails.
Right.
And a lot of them are on Steam. And unfortunately, I don't game on PC, so there's a lot of them that are on Steam that I have heard of that I have not played. But there's a lot of them out there and a lot of really good ones. So we thought maybe we would talk about some of our favorite retro style games. I know the roguelite and Metrovania rogues are big right now. Not much. I mean, Hades is awesome. I would call that. I don't know if I would call that a retro.
I've heard really good things about that one.
Yeah, I really like it, considering it's a game where you just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. I still kind of like that. You don't lose progression, which is nice. But some of the games that always stood out to me, Axiom Verge is a really cool one that one guy did.
and the sprite work in that is quite impressive. It's some of the bosses and stuff, because it really, on some of the bigger bosses, the screen zooms out and you can see how detailed everything is. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I love that game. Cuphead is another one that I really liked. I like the art style, the 19
right, but it's definitely retro style inspired as far as its core gameplay. So we'll allow that one.
Yeah, it's essentially a shoot 'em up. I mean, it's essentially what it is. But I like the 1930s cartoony style.
Oh yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
it's interesting how they even thought to transfer that into this medium. It's really neat.
Yeah. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is another one that I really liked. I liked it better than what was the
Ritual of the Night.
Ritual of the Night, yeah.
I haven't even played that one yet. I have it. I got the Kickstarter edition. I haven't even popped it in my system. But
what system did you get it for?
I got it for
the Switch?
No, I Kickstarted it on the Wii U.
Oh, okay.
2015.
Well, that might be all right on the Wii U then.
Yeah, but it came out on they did it on the Switch, so I transferred it up to the Switch. But yeah, dude, Curse of the Moon is so good. I got that one for free because that one was only made as a stretch goal. As part of the campaign, it was a stretch goal to have that game made.
Yeah.
And they made it with Inti Creates, and man, Inti Creates, everything they touch is just so good.
Yeah.
They are a really good developing house. Everything I've played from them is just amazingly just great.
Yeah, I love all.
Oh, it's such a good game.
Yeah, it's cool. I liked it better than the regular release. And I think there's a newer. There's
there's a second one. Yeah, I haven't played the second one yet.
I haven't bought it yet. I need to buy it.
I'm hoping Limited Run does a re-release of the first one and does a 2-pack. I'm hoping.
Yeah, they may. Shovel Knight, that's another one that I really like.
Oh yeah, that's like the game of the decade, though.
Yeah,
it really is.
I bought it on Switch. I bought it on Wii U. I bought it on. I think I bought it on everything. Dead Cells is the other one. I really like Dead Cells.
Haven't played that one. I've heard. I mean, it's the high-profile game. I've heard a lot about it, but I just haven't tried it.
Yeah, it's very Metrovania. It's rogue. You die and you come back, and you die and you come back, and you die and you come back, and but it's just fun. The humor in it is nice. The graphics are awesome. The gameplay mechanics are really great. And that's what I want in a good roguelike game is I want. It's got to have that, or I'm not interested in playing.
Sure,
because I'm not one to die a bunch of times and get frustrated. Destiny 2 is one of those things. The game, though, out of all of them that I like the best is probably Cosmic Star Heroine. It is so much like Phantasy Star, Final Fantasy, that turn-based RPG with the big bosses, and
Yeah,
it is great. It is one of my favorite games of this generation. I really
I
like it.
I know you've talked its praise quite a few times, and I finally picked it up on a Switch sale
Yeah.
somewhat recently, but I haven't gotten around to playing it because I have, that list. It's that
Oh, I know.
back burner list, man. That it's so
It's-
long, and I just keep buying these cheap games on the Switch, just making it bigger.
The
So
thing about Cosmic Star Heroine is you think, oh my gosh, it's an turn-based RPG like Phantasy Star, like Final Fantasy, those type of games. It's going to take me 30, 40 hours to beat. It's like a 10-hour game. It's like
nice.
perfect. It's got an awesome story, and the combat is good, the graphics are awesome, and it's just boom, 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 boom. You're done. I ended up buying the limited run version when they had it for sale. Thing comes with a 40 or 50 page manual in that box.
Nice.
That little manual is like that thick. But yeah, I ended up buying it on PlayStation because they had it on sale for like $3, even though I have it on Switch digitally and physically, and I physically or digitally bought it on PS4. If it was on Xbox, I would probably buy it on Xbox too, just to buy it.
Just to have it because you like it that much.
I like it that much. And the thing about it is I really hope that with the there was a lot of indie games that just weren't on Xbox this gen because they did not. It wasn't as feasible for developers to put them on Xbox as it was PS4. There was so much more restrictions. So I'm hoping this gen that maybe Microsoft leans back on some of that stuff. If they're wanting to,
I wouldn't bank on it.
I don't know. They're a lot more open with stuff now with the Series X than they were with the Xbox One. And Phil Spencer's pretty good about. He's wanting to get people to play games where they want to play them and what they want to play them on. So I could see him. Indie games is a big thing on the Switch, and that's where I go. 90% of the time is on Switch with indie games. So, what are some of the ones that you looked at?
Well, I didn't come up with as many as you did, so keeping it a little bit shorter. You called out Cuphead, which is a retro inspired, so that was like your cheat game, if you will. It's not a pixelated. So mine of that same kind of cut from the same cloth is Gunman Clive. If you've ever played that one, it plays kind of like Mega Man. The levels are really segmented. It's just a jump and shoot cowboy game, but everything, the art style is this really cool, sketchy kind of look where there's minimalistic colors. Really, really good. Super cheap game. I bought it on the 3DS. I bought the HD collection, which has Gunman Clive 1 and 2 on the Switch for like $2.
Yeah.
Buy the game. It's fantastic if you haven't played it. It's just just a quick little fun game that you just pick up, play, and you're done with it. It takes no time to beat, but it's just a really solid game. One that I played recently that I really enjoyed that I thought we talked about on the show a little bit was Panzer Paladin.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun, and I really liked how they did the aspect where you could do the pixel editor and make your own weapons, and you could randomly find other people's created weapons. I thought that I hadn't really seen a lot of games do stuff like that, and it was a neat way of having that communal functionality while not actually playing with somebody.
Yeah. I like that game. It's one of my favorite games of this year, of this decade too.
So. Yeah, that's that.
I guess I should say.
Right. Yeah, I really liked it. I just, I accidentally got the bad ending. I didn't mean to.
Well, it happens.
I was like, what have I done? I legitimately felt bad. I was like, no, I didn't mean to. Why? A couple other shout outs. One that I just kind of stumbled across on Twitter. It was during GDQ, Games Done Quick, which is the big semi-annual speedrunning. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like convention.
Yeah, well, we'll say convention.
Or whatever you want.
Yeah, I can't think of the actual word.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know what
but
you mean, but yeah.
yeah, you know GDQ. So
Gathering, get together.
right. So there was an independent developer, and I really wish I could remember the guy's name right now for the sake of the show. So I'm sorry, guy. I really liked your game, but there's a game called Love. He posted it, and I saw somebody shared it. And he had put it on sale in honor of GDQ, and he was donating some of the proceeds. If I'm remembering correctly, John, it's getting late. I can't even talk anymore.
I know, it's okay.
Anyway, he posted. He said, "Oh, I'm putting my games up on sale," and so he had 3 games, and I bought all 3 of them because they were under $1. And the one that I liked the most was called Love, and it's just a simple platformer. It's very low, basic graphics. And what I liked about it is that you start off with 100 lives. There's different difficulties, but the basic one is you start off with 100 lives.
Right.
And you have a respawn and a checkpoint button. So it's up to you to set your checkpoints as you go. And if you hit a spot where you need to respawn because you're, to get back up or whatever, you hit it and you respawn and you have 100 lives to go through. And I was like, that was just a really cool concept. And I beat it on my second try with, I think, 40 something lives left, but it was a super cheap one, and it was really, really fun. It was just a basic run and jump platformer, avoid obstacles, but the checkpoint system was really neat, and you don't really see I'm not used to seeing stuff like that. And that's a really good one. But the number one for me, if I have to pick a number one indie game,
you don't have to.
Well, okay. Well, just the one that I can think of. And, if you ask me tomorrow, if you ask somebody a top 10 today versus tomorrow versus the next day, it's going to potentially change. But this is one that I really, really, really enjoy. And that is VVVVVV.
Yeah.
It is a great platformer. It's got gravity effect like in Metal Storm. Full circle. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
Where you can you don't have a jump, but you have a button that'll let you go, change your polarity, whether your gravity on the top or on bottom.
Right.
And you just go through areas and it's segmented into different chunks, little areas. It's like Metroidvania, but it's not. It's hard to explain, but it's mostly just platforming. It looks like Commodore 64 graphics.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is one of my favorite soundtracks of any game. It is so good. I got the album from Fangamer. But yeah, VVVVV is a really good game. I got it. Mostly I play it on Switch or on Steam, but I want to get it on the Switch. I really would like for them to do a physical release, but it's a $10 game, and it's been out for, 8 to 10 years, maybe. It's been out a while, so I don't know if they would justify putting out a $30 or $40 physical release. But you know what? If they did, I'd buy it.
I swear, I thought there was a physical release of that game, but maybe not.
I don't know if I feel like I've seen somebody post like a PS4 case, but I'm not sure if that was a legit or if it's what people are calling now. What is it? Physical.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just a case. It's like faux physical. It's not really physical. It's a case with a download code in it, but it looks nice on the shelf. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. It's like
that's the new big thing since digital is such a so common. But yeah, if they put that one on the Switch, physical, I would buy it in a heartbeat. That'd be if Limited Run was like, hey, we're doing VVVVVV. I'm like, special edition. Give me everything you're gonna put in it. I just take my money. Shut up and take my money.
I think it was Vita. I think Vita.
Oh no! Yes. They did do a Vita release, I believe.
I think that's what I'm thinking of. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be a cool one. I'm surprised that somebody hasn't done a physical release of it on Switch.
Again, it's probably because they don't think it's going to sell well because it's a little bit old at this point, and it's like I said, it's like a $10 game at full price. So
yeah, well, I mean, but it's Nicalis or Nicalis, however you say it,
Nicalis or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know, but they're usually pretty good about bringing out physical games. So. Who knows, though? I mean,
but if they do and they give it like the 5-star treatment and make a nice you put some figurines of the characters in there, a soundtrack on CD to go with my vinyl one. You're like, yeah, let me get it. Give me a poster, some cards. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So that's all that we have for our some of our favorite retro inspired games. If there's any out there that we missed that you like, that maybe we haven't played or we didn't mention, send us an email, retro at the-gamer-lounge.com, or you could send us a DM at backtobits if you're on Twitter.
Or just add us.
Yeah, or just
add us on Twitter.
Yeah, or add us on Twitter and let us know, what retro inspired indie games have you played that that we hadn't talked about, that you really liked. There's so many out there that I miss a lot of them. And Nathaniel, who do the other podcast with, he's big into a lot of these obscure ones that I've never heard of, and and he's always, I played this and that. Oh, that sounds cool. And I get tons of PR emails every day, and there's tons of them on Steam that I look at and go, man, that looks really cool. Is it coming to the Switch?
That's my next question. Is it coming to the Switch? Is it going to be physical?
Is it going to be physical? Is it coming to the Switch? Is it at least coming to the Switch? And I got to stop doing that. But I don't play a lot on my PC. In fact, this is about the only thing that I do on this PC now. So it's like, well, I should play some games. I did download Steam to this PC because last weekend Sega had their 60th anniversary sale, and they had Streets of Rage, but it was Yakuza. So you played as the Yakuza characters in it. So of course I had to download that game.
Of course.
It was free. And it was only available for like 2 days. And then they had the beta game of Golden Axe remake that they were originally going to do like years ago that never got released. It's old school side scrolling beat 'em up, just like Golden Axe was, except it's redone. That was only available for 1 day for free. So it's like, I got to download that, and you're
not going to get another chance.
Yeah, so I've at least downloaded
not until they release it from the vault in another 60 years.
If they ever do,
yeah.
It's funny, one of the guys that I follow on Twitter, I did not realize he was an original dev of that game. He said, hey, this is weird. I used to work at Sega, and they're releasing my game that I worked on for 2 weeks. And he said, literally, that's how long they gave us to do it. They came in on a Monday and said, we need a Golden Axe remake done in 2 weeks. And we said, wow, okay. And then they never used it. So
that's crazy.
So you talk about crunch. Everybody talking about crunch right now. That's
that hot term.
Phew. But that's
insane.
Yeah, it is insane. It's crazy. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to call that a show. Thanks a lot for listening. If you're on the live stream with us, thanks a lot for hanging out with us. Even though we had a little bit of technical difficulty, it's no big deal. It happens. It's the intranet. Hopefully we will not have a long space in between doing shows again. The 1 week it would be my fault, the next week it'd be Danny's fault, and then the next week it'd be my fault, and
it's life, yeah.
So hopefully in 2 weeks we'll be able to do a show. I should be off the road by then, so I have 3 weeks of work. I just finished week 1, and I just happened to finish early this week, so I actually had today off. So normally we weren't even going to record today. We were going to record tomorrow. So
no, and I couldn't even record tomorrow because I'm hosting a sleepover at my house. There's going to be
so there you go. So
it's going to be loud boys yelling and watching TV and talking about farts.
You have fun with that because I'll be in my warm bed sleeping.
In my quiet home.
With the dog laying up against me, keeping me warm at night. But that's cool. I mean, I remember being that age and sleeping over at friends.
Oh yeah, they're gonna have a blast.
Yeah, it was always a good time. So it always helps to have a cool parent too. So
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, like I said, follow us on Twitter at BackToBits. If you can't join us live, that's cool. You still get it on the feed, but I always tweet out a couple hours early to let everybody know when we're going to be live if they want to come hang out with us. And again, like I said, if you have any questions, comments, show ideas, anything like that, retro at the-gamer-lounge.com. You can email us and let us know. All right. Well, Danny, anything going on other than a sleepover tomorrow that you want to talk about before we say goodbye? Anything, streams or YouTube videos coming up or anything?
I had some stuff planned, but man, I got busy, so I don't know. I'm gonna try to throw something together. I have some stuff half finished. I'm gonna try to finish for YouTube, but I am gonna try to do like I said, I want to do that Typing of the Dead stream sometime probably next week. So
Cool.
so look for that.
Yeah, and we have some Mega Cat stuff coming up too here hopefully soon. So we'll have something
more to come
to talk about. Hopefully, to news to be able to talk about. Maybe next episode we'll see. So, all right, guys. Well, again, thanks a lot for hanging out and listening to us, and we will catch you all next time.
Later.